What is up, everyone, and welcome to another Dynamite Harry's Gaming Opinions. And today we are talking about BioShock, the remastered. Is it still a masterpiece? My honest thoughts on it. It's such a great game. Before we get into the deep dive, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are one subscriber off 1800. Who's going to be the lucky 1800? Let me know in the comments if you are that person. Also, let me know your thoughts on BioShock, your opinions on it, everything. I love reading through your comments. Let's set the like target to 20 likes on this video. And let's really, have a sit down and talk about BioShock, because to me, it is still a masterpiece. But let's break it down a little bit more than that. Now that I've finished it from start to finish, I want to just sit and unpack what this game did for me. Because it wasn't just another series I did for the channel, it genuinely surprised me in a way I didn't think it would. Going into it, I knew BioShock had a massive reputation. I knew what it was from playing it all the way back in 2007. Everyone talks about it as one of the greatest games ever made, one of the best twists in gaming, one of the best atmospheres. But when you actually sit and play it yourself, even still in 2025, almost 20 years later, it hits completely different. And honestly, I wasn't prepared for how much this game still stands out, even with how far gaming has come since 2007. Now you're seeing in the background here, this is towards obviously the end of the game, so I've got a lot of different weapons unlocked. And the weapon variety for 2007 was so fun. Shotguns with, explosive bullets, crossbows with traps and stuff. It was such a fantastic experience using these different weapons, the hackable turrets. Now, I'm going to get into hacking a bit later, but because I have a little gripe with it, but it was still a great addition to the game. And, for me, this game really still stands out as just an enjoyable game. From the very first moment when the plane crashes and you're thrown into the ocean, it sets the tone instantly. It's cinematic without trying too hard. It's mysterious without giving anything away. And the pacing of that intro just pulls you in straight away. Swimming up to that lighthouse, walking through those rusted doors, the giant banner, no gods or kings, only man. And then the reveal of Rapture. Who can remember that first time they saw Rapture all the way back in 2007? 2025, it still hits the same. Seeing that city underwater, wow. The whole Art Deco, the grand worlds, BioShock Rapture, it felt like a place that it was lived in, polished, celebrated, and then absolutely destroyed by the people that made it. What really shocked me playing it is how confident the storytelling is. So many modern games hold your hand and give you a million tutorials or objectives. BioShock doesn't do that. It just throws you into this fallen world and lets you piece things together bit by bit. You learn about Rapture through environmental storytelling, through broken machinery, through graffiti on the walls, and those audio diaries, they are absolutely fantastic. Those tapes do much heavy lifting, yet it never really feels forced to you. You don't have a cutscene every 5 minutes. You learn about society's collapse naturally. You learn about Ryan's ideology, the splicers fall from grace, the little sisters, the Big Daddies, all of those voices of people trying to survive this place. And it gives weight that even a lot of brand new games still can't manage to do. There's something about Rapture that stays with you. The Art Deco lighting, the leaking pipes, the sound of something moving in the distance, the occasional scream from a splicer 2 rooms away. And the crazy part is, this game doesn't rely on jump scares or cheap tricks. It's scary because of the atmosphere, because of the tension, because you always feel like you're being watched, even when nothing's happening. Not many games get the balance right, but BioShock did it almost effortlessly. And while we're talking about, the actual gameplay itself, the weapons were fantastic too, as I mentioned, but the plasmids, the variety that you could use, and I didn't even get a chance to use them all in this playthrough. I just stuck to a core 3 that I really enjoyed, which was fire, electricity, and controlling the Big Daddy. Those 3 are fantastic ones, but there's so much more to explore in this game. The plasmids and the weapons combination, absolutely fantastic. You've got the combat, which I'm going to say, it surprised me more than anything, because I expected it to feel really outdated. But the combination of guns and plasmids still feels really incredible. Yes, some of the weapons haven't aged perfectly, and the AI isn't the smartest thing in the world. But chaining electricity into gunfire, or setting things on fire and hacking turrets to help you out, it feels like a sandbox where you can experiment constantly. Even late in the game, I was swapping plasmids, still rethinking my approach, still finding new ways to take down enemies. And then you have the Big Daddy fights. Every single one still feels like a mini boss battle. You hear the heavy breathing, the metal groaning as they take steps, and it changes the whole energy in the room. It's brilliant game design. But of course, the real reason BioShock is remembered as a masterpiece is that twist. The would you kindly reveal. Even though everyone online talks about it, and even though I knew it was coming, it still genuinely hit harder than I expected. The way game rewrites your entire journey, the way you realise you've been manipulated from the moment you stepped into Rapture, the way Atlas flips into Fontaine, that's storytelling on a level most games don't even attempt. And it's not just shocking for the sake of shock value, it forces you to question the free will you've had in the game, and other games themselves. How much control do we actually have when a character on screen just tells us what to do, because the game expects it? That moment doesn't just change the story, it changes how you see your own role as a player, and that is absolutely massive. And that's for me why BioShock still stands out. It's not just a game, it's a commentary on games. It's clever in a way that's still relevant today. Even modern story-driven games rarely reach this level of narrative ambition. Now, that's not to say that BioShock is perfect. Playing it now, you can see some rough edges. The backtracking later on slows the pacing a little bit. Some areas drag more than others. The hacking minigame, as I was going to say, can get very repetitive. And the escort mission that you're seeing here in the background, oof, it was painful. It is so shameful that this mission is in this story, because if you didn't have this, it would be epic. But you feel like you're just having to sit there and defend and walk at 2 miles an hour because they're not very quick, and then they're telling you to catch up, and you're like, well, hang on a second, you need to be coming quicker than that. It's just, it ruins the kind of end of the game for me, this mission, because it's just, the game had so much fun up until this point, and then you're like, I've got to walk really slowly now and, you know, defend the little sister while she gets the Adam from a dead person, and then, you know, I've got to defend her and make sure she's alive, and then I'm getting attacked by more splicers and turrets, and it just gets, you have to do it 3 or 4 times, and it just gets a bit repetitive for me, you know. It just, yeah, a little bit annoying. And then the final boss fight, while visually cool, it definitely isn't the strongest part of the game. Fontaine looks amazing with Adam charged body. The actual fight is very straightforward. It doesn't quite live up to the narrative high point of the twist. But honestly, those flaws almost make the game more charming. It's ambitious, it's experimental, it's emotional, and it swings big. I'd rather have a game like this that takes risks than a modern game that feels focused, tasted, and safe. So after playing the whole thing, is BioShock Remastered still a masterpiece in 2025? For me, absolutely, without a doubt. There's a reason people still talk about it nearly 2 decades later. There's a reason it's still referenced in debates about the greatest games ever made. It's bold, it's creative, it's immersive, and it delivers a story that hits way harder than most modern games even come close to. And honestly, I think playing it now has made me appreciate it more than I would have done years ago. Because you see what gaming has become, you see how formulaic and predictable some modern titles can be. And you play something like BioShock and you're reminded of true worlding looks like, what unforgettable storytelling looks like, and what it feels like when the game trusts the players to figure things out instead of holding your hand. Not only that, it spawned 2 other games after it. BioShock 2, which wasn't the best game, but it spawned BioShock Infinite. And I think for me, BioShock Infinite is my favourite out of the trilogy. It's such an awesome game, but it wouldn't have been possible without the success that BioShock 1 paved. And that is the big thing. It spawned so many other games. And that is so good. And as I say, it's still enjoyable to play today, which, go back and play a game from 20 years ago, there's not going to be many that are this enjoyable to play. If you haven't played BioShock in a long time, or you've never played it at all, give it a chance. Dive into Rapture with fresh eyes. It might just hit you the same way it hit me. Not as an old classic, but as a game that still holds its crown today. And honestly, after finishing the whole playthrough, I can confidently say this game deserves every bit of praise it gets. It's still a masterpiece. Thank you very much for tuning in. Next week, we'll be starting a fresh game, so make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you all then. Bye-bye, guys.